So it's pretty clear to me that the days of double standards will never end. Degeneracy is only getting worse and worse. These ridiculous standards are only getting worse and worse. So I don't know what the average Joe is going to do. Guys, I do not know what young men in this generation are going to do, because this is getting out of hand, right? It's getting to a point where most people are just giving up dating in general because of this tomfoolery. Now, today's clip is called "She Has 5 Kids But Wants to Date Multiple Men." Now, I'm not even going to start because that's a whole separate video. But for starters, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications bell. Guys, you guys have been fantastic with commenting lately. I've had a lot of interactions with many of you guys over the past 2 days, 3 days. The comments have been picking up. You guys have been engaging, and I encourage you to please leave your opinion on this down below. That's why you guys tune in. I want your opinion as well on this gibberish. But make sure that you subscribe, and also I've compiled a brand new ebook. So if you're interested, the link for that is down in the description. Make sure that you go and sign up for that ebook. It is completely free. All that you can provide to me is your email address. Other than that, let's get to it. You're not probably not going to check out I always cut these things short when I get to the gist of things, but let's check it out.
5 years, especially going through the pandemic, where dating apps completely exploded.
Everything.
It was like a man will find a woman and be like, okay, I want to just focus. Some men. I'm not talking about F-boys, right? But, and women are more of laissez-faire, let's just get to know people and not have expectations and stuff. But,
I'm still not like that.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's a hot take.
You're saying women are more so...
Yeah, because we don't want to get hurt emotionally.
Yeah.
So we try and stay the distance and kind of have options. That's what I've always been taught by my older.
That's where the problem comes in. You say, and it's quite ironic, saying that, because she's saying that she tends to keep her distance in order not to get hurt. But at the same time, she calls the men that she's talking to options. So how would they feel if they found out they were an option? Once again, the hypocrisy in this is amazing.
So we try and stay the distance and kind of have options. That's what I've always been taught by my older mentor, lady friends.
Is she a woman or?
Who?
Your mentor. Is she a woman or a man?
Multiple different women.
You've had multiple female mentors who have instructed you and advised you to entertain multiple options. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, when you're on the dating scene, until you actually get serious and you know if everything aligns, just casually getting to know.
So
fair enough.
2 months ago, were you doing that prior to meeting this current guy that you're now only?
I was on all the dating apps.
Well, you were on all the dating apps. So how many options 3 months ago were you entertaining?
I only had a couple that I was, considering.
Only a couple. Only a couple. Okay.
You're now only.
I was on all the dating apps.
Well, you're on all the dating apps. So how many options 3 months ago were you entertaining?
I only had a couple that I was, considering, and.
What do you mean? When you say considering, what do you mean?
A couple of good men that I would have seen, getting to know them. Yeah.
But so okay, you would be you'd be this guy on the 3rd date, this guy on the 4th date, this guy on the 7th date,
until you become exclusive. Yeah, that's very common.
Sure. And so, how many people were you just dating at the same time?
Well, there's a difference between getting out there, putting yourself out there, and just meeting people.
Yeah.
And then there's a difference between consistently dating someone to get to know them. So maybe 2 or 3 guys
that you were consistently seeing
for a couple. For a few weeks. Yeah.
And do they all know about each other? And
of course not.
You have open conversation and you tell them I just put myself out there. I'm meeting people. You're very upfront. Okay. So
I feel like it's
those are conversations.
I'm dating. I'm going on dates with people,
it's
or
verb.
Him and I are dating.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's a verb.
Yeah. So you were going on dates with.
Fair enough. She's saying that at least something that you can, if this is true, so to speak, you can give it to her that she was at least open and honest about it. And if the guy then accepts it, well, if he gets hurt in the end, that's his biggie, right? That's his issue, because he knew it from the get-go that she was seeing other guys as well. So if he accepted that and he later got hurt, he can only blame himself. Ultimately.
Right.
And the men were cool with it. Like they were just like, that's good, you do you, and let me know.
Yeah.
And I feel like early on you don't need to.
Thomas Edison, the great inventor, was known for his afternoon naps, but he napped in a really cute.
Like when you first meet someone, you don't need to.
Until you have a
Well, you have to get to
conversation.
know
all
them.
of that, yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to get to know them. I don't
Okay,
think I'm
well,
very good
I'll
at
come
that.
in on this in just a second.
Yeah.
But so, what's the most amount of guys that you were seeing
Lord.
at one time?
Oh Lord, here we
I
go.
don't know because the pandemic was a cluster. So,
If you like,
so why don't you clarify the question? Like, how many men
Well,
was I meeting?
let's
Just like
say-
back
Oh,
to back
she's
trying to
reverse
get to know,
Unoing you. Brian,
or
come on.
consistently dating, because that's a very different posture to have.
so how about this? At the peak of the cluster, fuck.
Whatever you
How
want.
many total men did you go on a first date with in the period of a
She doesn't know.
Wow, you're
like
doing
a
good.
1 month?
And I mean, in the beginning, like,
month
there's
span.
context. There's context there, right?
Yeah.
Like,
What's the context?
I got married at 17. I was married for 14
Whoa.
years.
Damn.
I have 5 kids.
Okay.
So for me,
Five kids.
All right, okay.
for me
You know,
to get out on the
there it is. There it is. So, this is the thing. Ultimately, the good men that you speak of, right? The quote-unquote high-value man won't take you seriously. Why is that? Well, it's because you have 5 kids. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, a man's brain is different. He thinks that, okay, you have 5 kids, you've been around the block, so why would I, quote unquote, as a high value man, want you when I can get someone who has less experience, who's more innocent, so to speak, who's better looking probably, so why would I want to date you? And this is the problem, right? This is the problem with experimenting in your young years, and we're all guilty of it in some way, shape, or form. Let's not get it twisted. We're not angels. We're all guilty of it. But at the same time, unfortunately, it does affect your intrinsic value going into the dating scene at an old age, because a high value man would look for someone who's less experienced, who's supportive, who's innocent, who's not been around the block. It's just how it works. And you going into that dating pool, you're gonna find guys, sure, there are a lot of Simps out there, trust me, but you are not gonna find the caliber man that you're looking for, because that's not what they are looking for. Anyway, guys, I think I've gotten the gist of this, but let me know your opinion. Do you think that, let's say a lady like this who has 5 kids, do you think it is possible for her to get the caliber guy on a dating app that she wants? And let me know your honest opinion on this. If any of you have children and if any of you are currently dating, let me know your experience in the current dating pool down below in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.